NECA was there for the evolution of evil, and NECA will be there when evil meets its end. Here's your look at the brand new NECA Toys Halloween Ends, the ultimate Michael Myers. 4 years after the events of Halloween Kills, Laurie is living with her granddaughter Allison and is finishing up writing her memoir. Michael Myers hasn't been seen since. Laurie, after allowing the specter of Michael to determine and drive the reality for decades, has decided to liberate herself from fear and rage and embrace his life. But when a young man, Corey Cunningham, is accused of killing a boy he was babysitting, it ignites a cascade of violence and terror that will force Laurie to finally confront the evil she can't control once and for all. And to think, Michael went from being a menace to victims to being a victim of muggings. Before, of course, we get a closer look, what was that all about? The Halloween Ends Michael Myers. Let me send out a big thank you first to the folks over at NECA Toys that did provide the sample we could have a look at. The Halloween Ends Michael Myers is now available in retail stores and online if you guys are interested to get this one for yourself. The figure, though, stands about 7.5 inches in height. Yes, he does. Or is about 19 centimeters tall. Trekking now through Michael's Trilogy, here's what the other figures that we've gotten from NECA Toys from the new Blumhouse Trilogy. Here's what he looks like with the 2018 Michael Myers. There was also a follow-up figure. This one was released in 2021. The build is the same, though they have changed and re-sculpted the head sculpt completely, giving us a very different looking Michael Myers from the one that we got from 2018. Following to that, we of course did get ourselves the Halloween Kills Michael Myers, which did then start to give him a much leaner looking body, which seems to also be something that the newer one adopts as well. And of course, we can't have all these Michael Myers without a Laurie Strode that's just been pining for 40 years, waiting for him to escape. Hey, speaking of trilogy, Michael gets a trilogy of knives, you could say in aged orders. First of all, he gets himself a pretty clean-looking butcher knife that doesn't look like it's been doing much stabby at all. If you prefer, though, your knife to have much more blood, then he also gets one that looks to be identical, just with a whole lot more blood along the bottom of the blade. And then, if you wanted to have one aged as Michael sits inside the sewer just waiting to be mugged by Corey Cunningham, there's also as well a rusted knife. I really like the look of this knife, just because it goes really well with the look of Michael Myers, of course, the way he is right now. The state of this shape also works quite well to have a rusted knife with him. I'm glad to see that NECA did include this. I mean, to look at this has just been painted, but I mean, it just does look like it has a rusted look to it. The handle itself is still pretty clean, but I'm really impressed with the way they've actually painted the blade this time around. The figure as well includes some swappable hands. Now, as he is right now, he does have technically gripping hands on both sides of his body, of course, even though that one's actually missing a few digits. But he also comes included with a couple of other hands as well. Now, these hands, he does have a relaxed hand. I guess we'll kind of look at the hands first on this side. He comes with a relaxed hand, so if you don't necessarily want to have the figure displayed with both gripping hands, there's quite a lot of blood still settled on the surface of the skin. I don't think that Michael's doing much washing of anything when he's down in the sewer. If anything, I think the sewer is just going to make him stink even worse. But really dirty, filthy-looking hands. Again, these just simply plug in by the included pegs, of course, on the other ends of his forearms. And then he also has 2 hands for this side. Both the hands are, of course, if you were to count them, normally you would count to 5. You'd only be counting to 3 this time, because, of course, Michael does have his last 2 fingers blown off by Laurie Strode. Now, while looking at them, they look almost identical. This hand right here is actually more of a relaxed hand, whereas this hand is actually kind of a more gripping, I don't want to say a triggering hand, but a gripping hand that you could technically still take yourself a knife. And while normally he would have actually had 4 fingers to wrap around the handle, you could still have, if you wanted to, the hand holding the knife. Although it looks a little awkward just because, again, like he's missing a few digits on the end. Is this the little piggy that went to the market? The one that stayed home? I'm trying to think of the order in which you usually count piggies. Anyways, he is missing 2 of them. Those last sausage fingers are completely omitted on this figure's hands. But again, you get 3 interchangeable hands, not counting, of course, the one he's already got currently on the ends of his forearms. The figure also comes included with a pumpkin. I really like the look of this pumpkin. It does, in a way, for me, remind me of the Halloween Curse of Michael Myers pumpkin. It does have some really interesting carving. I like the way they painted the inside of it. Unfortunately, though, it doesn't have any illumination. There's no switch or anything on this that will turn on and off the pumpkin, but man, it does look like a nice little jack-o'-lantern. I sculpted it in even such a way that it kind of looks like you can remove the lid. I cannot remove the lid. And then the last thing that the figure comes also included with is an interchangeable head sculpt. Depending on how much decay you really want to have Michael Myers sporting, there's this one. I'm just going to pick the figure up right now and show you guys where we kind of start things with. There's this one that has obviously decay. I mean, the mask just continues to fall apart. But if you look at the two, really, the hair is a lot more slicked down or just fallen off. And this one does have a little bit more fuller hair on the top. There seems to be as well so much darker paint here on the side of the face that while still being on the original one, there isn't as much of it. What you could also really do, too, is if you wanted to, you could use these head sculpts and get yourself a second Michael Myers and have one displayed as more decayed Mikey living in the sewer and one as Corey Cunningham posing as the Shape. Or what you can also do, too, just going to put the figure down here for a second. Grabbing a Halloween Kills Michael Myers, it so happens to be the case that you can also take the heads off any one of these, and they use all the same cylinder post. That then, taking a Michael Myers head that comes included with the Halloween Ends release, you could, in fact, attach that onto the top, and just like that, without the release of NECA having to put out a Corey Cunningham, I don't know if we're actually going to be getting a Corey Cunningham, you do actually get yourself two shapes. One Corey Cunningham, perhaps, although I think this head sculpt would work maybe a little bit better with this one if you want to have this one displayed as Michael Myers, and then this one could be, of course, the copycat killer, Corey Cunningham. Wow, that's a lot of C's. So again, like if you wanted to, yeah, you can just easily use the heads. And really, I guess you could also do as well. Let's take the other heads. I think I haven't really checked these, but yeah, they work the exact same way. A post system. So if you want a much cleaner looking coverall, I might usually just, if I have really both of these on the shelf, I could really decide for myself. I want to just have one displayed as Corey Cunningham, and of course using probably that mask, and I'll use then this one here with the more decayed Mikey. Putting those figures then off to the side, we're going to bring them back a little bit later. Picking the figure up right now, he has the same build as the Halloween Kills Michael Myers, even though now he's missing a head. It's a little bit leaner of a build, although it still has the softer plastic that they're using here. One thing I did notice, though, is that the Halloween Kills Michael Myers had a lot less squishiness to his torso, where the newer one from Halloween Ends, there's a lot more softness to it. There's a lot more torso space. He actually, in fact, kind of looks a little bit more like the 2018 or 2021 release of Halloween 2018 Michael Myers, just by the more padding that he actually has in his body. By this point on, obviously his coveralls, his boilers, are really, again, quite decayed like his mask. So he's got kind of all this sort of, I don't know if it's just moss, it's just burnt remains of what had happened in Halloween Kills, but it's all sort of more discolored and white. He has all these bullet holes, entry wounds, and all the other things he inflicted in Halloween Kills, but it's a much paler looking pair of coveralls, especially when you say compare it against the Halloween Kills. Halloween Kills had the more notable wetness, the burnt area that he had on the top of the shoulder, and again, it kind of carries that over again when he gets to the more 4 years later Michael Myers, where again, like it's a kind of more of a white finish. The rest of the body and the build is exactly the same, so if you were to already have yourself a 2018 Michael Myers, a Halloween Kills Michael Myers, you already kind of know by now the territory that you're covering. The arms are going to be exactly the same, as well as the lower legs. I think, in fact, the feet are also exactly the same as well, still sporting peg holes in the undersides of the figure's feet. I didn't really spend a whole lot of time actually showing you guys what the head sculpt looked like. Far be it for me to miss that one crucial point, because once again, NECA has delivered a really good Michael Myers. While not really loving, I will admit, I saw Halloween Ends once again this year, thinking maybe I was wrong. Maybe there was a good possibility that I maybe missed something that I didn't maybe spot the first time. No, I still didn't like the movie. But I will say, though, like, NECA has always done really a great job when it comes to these Michael Myers figures. The newer one, Halloween Ends, in fact, I actually kind of think I like a little bit more than the Halloween Kills Michael Myers mask. It was still a good-looking mask, but I like a lot more of the contrasting and a lot more of the war wounds that he has all over his face. I think it's a much better-looking mask than the one we got here from Halloween Kills. And then again, if you wanted to, you just simply pop the head off the ball peg. I want to say ball joint, but it's not really even a ball joint. And we're just going to pop then the new head in place, just make sure it's snapped all the way in. And again, show you the difference between the two. There's a lot more white, what's left at least of the white on the Shape's face, and there's a lot less of it here on this. I mean, it gets more to a darker gray, and definitely really you can see the state the Shape is in. There's so much left of, a little less left of his mask than there was before. Now again, when it comes to the actual figure, while still having the same basic build, is going to have as well all the same articulation points as well. So Michael Myers, like all the cases before, is going to have the head rotates all the way around. Even though he really does have a higher collar, it doesn't get in the way at all of having the figure's head move up and down and also back and forth. So even if you want to have Michael Myers suspending a nurse that just got a promotion against the wall and sort of just staring at her, you can do that as well. The figure does also have hinges in his shoulders, so you can bring those arms out at, not I would say at 90 degrees, but a little less, probably about 45. You can take those arms and rotate them all the way around. He has a double hinge on the elbow, which is good to see. Hands as well rotate also all the way around. Now again, because this is all softer plastic in here, he still retains what you could call an upper torso crunch. It doesn't rotate or anything like that because it's all self-contained. The figure does have splits on his legs, which are on hinge joints, of course. You can take those legs and move them forward. You can move them back. A swivel at the top of the thigh. Single hinge again on the knee. You can rotate the lower leg. And you can hinge the feet back and forth this way and back and forth this way as well. Again, when it comes to these figures, NECA has really been doing a great job. Whether you like the new Trilogy or not, I'm not really a big fan of them myself. Getting then the other head that we actually need here from Michael Myers for Halloween Kills. Because, of course, if I'm going to have them all displayed, I want to make sure at least that Michael Myers hasn't been decapitated. All that stuff happens in H2O, but hey, we don't need to have H2O part of canon anymore. We'll just completely wipe that off. And again, we'll just go ahead and get the other Michael Myers here displayed. Here's what he looks like. I don't know why, for some reasons, the Halloween Kills Michael Myers always seems to have the hardest time to stand when it comes, at least when it comes to putting these guys on display. Halloween Kills Michael Myers, there's the 2021 Michael Myers, there's the 2018 Michael Myers. Now, both of these guys were actually from the 2018 film. And of course, once again, there's Grandma Laurie Strode. Still waiting, still pining for the shape to escape. What was that all about? All in all, though, great looking figures. I think when it comes to certainly, will we see a Corey Cunningham? I mean, NECA really could still get the most mileage out of their mold and simply just re-release this figure again with a slightly different shape mask, or just release a Corey Cunningham with the Scarecrow mask. I'd actually still be open for that. I didn't mind Corey Cunningham in the movie. I just thought he was handled really badly. You can't introduce a character that plays a significant role for the story arc from the final film, introduce him in the same film that you actually then write him out of, and it just made no sense. Corey Cunningham, really. And a side tangent, of course, the Halloween Ends Michael Myers, because, of course, we're kind of wrapping up things with that. Corey Cunningham, I feel, should have been introduced in 2018, or at the very least, Halloween Kills, and slowly build him, slowly, establish him as a character before he becomes a copycat killer. Still, though, nice work on NECA's part, even though we are getting basically the same build of body as what we got with the other Michael Myers from before. At least they have, once again, like the film's shape mask, continued to decay the mask, and at a state, really, where it's kind of hard to identify that was ever really a Dawn Post Michael Myers or William Shatner Captain Kirk mask. Still nice work, once again, from the folks over at NECA Toys. You know, the irony in all of this is that even though I do prefer Halloween Kills as my favorite film from the new Halloween Blumhouse trilogy, I actually think I like Halloween Ends Michael Myers the most. There's just a lot of cool details going on. The old decay of course, the boilers that he's wearing, not to mention the way that the mask is just falling apart. Between really, honestly, the two head sculpts that he gets, the one that I've got him currently displayed with here in final looks is actually my least favorite. I'm probably just going to be reverting it back to the one he first comes with when he get him out of his plastic prison. But honestly, though, I think I like this one just more than the Halloween Kills Michael Myers. What I might just end up doing is taking the other head sculpt and swapping it out with the Halloween Kills Michael Myers, getting clean coveralls, and in the process as well, I can almost kind of makeshift pretend that that's Corey Cunningham. Until, of course, are we ever going to be getting a Corey Cunningham from NECA Toys? Maybe. There's mileage, I think, still to be made when it comes to NECA releasing something from the Halloween films. Whether we are going to be getting Corey Cunningham with a Scarecrow mask, whether we are going to be getting a Corey Cunningham and Michael Myers 2-pack along with a motorcycle that they can ride together. What was that all about? I am hoping that we are going to be getting a Corey Cunningham, whether you like or hate the character. But what do you guys think of the Halloween Ends Michael Myers? When it comes to certainly having him and the others compared, what would you say is the best trilogy Michael Myers that we've gotten from NECA Toys? Is it this one? Is it the Halloween Kills? Or is it the one we got from 2018? Whether we got the one from 2018 or thinking of the one from 2021, the reissue. Once again, a big thank you to the folks over at NECA Toys that did come through and provide the sample of the brand new Halloween Ends Michael Myers, which as of right now is available in retail stores and online, should you be interested to get the shape for yourself. If you guys enjoyed this video, I want to hit with a like. If you guys are loving the content you guys are seeing and you'd like to certainly stick around for more, NECA enthusiasts may already notice that we've been doing a lot of NECA reviews lately here on this channel, just know an FYI, a little birdie sitting on your shoulder is going to be whispering into your ear, caw! More is coming your way. Apparently the bird knows how to speak English. So making sure you're always keeping your peepers peeled to this channel. As always, guys, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.